Today I fucked up trying to spoil my wife. This actually happened yesterday, but we're both still trying to recover from the experience. My wife, 27 female, and I, 33 male, got married recently and decided to honeymoon on one of the Greek isles. It's all been going swimmingly for the first couple of days, until night 3. I decided that we should venture out of the holiday resort where we are staying and go find somewhere new to eat and explore the local town a little more. This is something we do often whenever we go away. We came across a restaurant which looked incredible and even better views with it being right on the beach. It was a little pricey, not out of our budget but at least triple what we'd normally pay based off the area. I told my wife to ignore the cost, it's my treat. The food was good and the expensive bottle of wine that cost almost as much as the food was sublime. After our meal we chose to sit out on the beanbags on the beach belonging to the restaurant and enjoy some cocktails in the night sky before we venture back to our hotel. The setting was stunning. Candles all over the beach and they even had lights in the water, so romantic and both of us having a wonderful time. Nothing could prepare us for what's to come. We set off to walk back to our hotel and about halfway back, I start to feel unwell. Now we both suffer from IBS, so just thought something had triggered me. It just gets worse. We were about 5 minutes from our hotel and I'm walking like John Wayne, sweating profusely, holding it in and grunting from the pain. My wife, bless her, albeit laughing, was being very supportive. Even said if I needed to go in a bush I could. I opted against that as we were close to the hotel. We got back to our room and I stripped fully naked from my now damp clothes and head straight for the bathroom. To say I unleashed hell from above and below would be an understatement. Knock at the door. It's my wife and she tells me to get out. Turns out whatever made me so sick had come from her vegetarian meal. For the rest of the night we'd take it in turns hoping on the toilet like musical chairs. We barely slept last night and it was rough. Here comes my next fuck up. The next morning we were getting ready to get out. Through my learnt behavior, whenever I got to fart, I let it rip. My wife and I are good with potty humor. So I feel a fart brewing and before I could stop myself, I pooped the bed. I shit the freaking bed on our honeymoon. My wife howled with laughter as I went to get in the shower to wash off my shame. It doesn't end there. My wife heads to the reception to ask if we can have our bedding changed and heads out to get us both some medication. I am just about dressed when I heard a knock at the door. It was the cleaners and they just let themselves in. With the language barrier I try to convey as much as possible to hold on. I am just about to leave. I scoot out of the room as quick as possible before they notice my shame all over the bed. Whilst we are mostly recovered now, my shame will live on. Too long did not read. Tried to treat my wife to an expensive meal. Both of us ended up with explosive food poisoning and I pooped the bed on our honeymoon. Today I fucked up trying to grease the sheets in Greece. Well, at least you found out early that you married a good one. At least your wife found it funny. You've got a keeper right there. Holy shit, almost felt like I was there. Today I fucked up by accusing my date of stealing from me. Today I fucked up by accusing my date of stealing from me. Reddit. Rip me a new one cause I know I deserve it. This just happened and I am posting about it as I am feeling incredibly horrible and guilty. I went on a date with a girl I met off Hinge. She was stunningly beautiful, I mean a solid 10 while I'm like at 6 at best. We had been talking for a while and had a lot of pent-up feelings for each other when we met. Those feelings exploded as I pulled in front of her house. We had oral in my car and made out for a solid hour and a half. I was loving on this girl as I thought she was perfect. As I was about to leave I checked for all my stuff including my wallet. I could not find my wallet and spent the next 30 minutes searching my car in her driveway. Things got mixed around as we were doing the deed, so I thought it was there, but as I couldn't find it, I found myself becoming more panicked and more suspicious of my date. I immediately suspected her because 1. She was a little bit crazy and 2. She lamented her financial troubles as her mother controlled all of her money and she was not allowed to spend anything outside of essentials. So she's essentially broke. I couldn't get through to her phone as I had poor signal, so I knocked on the door and ended up telling her mom she stole my wallet. She said she patted her daughter and she didn't, but I didn't believe them. I didn't want to get the police involved, so I just left but made a big stink that I knew she had my wallet. I get home and take one last look, this time in light. Lo and behold, I found it. I had searched every inch of that car before but found it in the one place I never thought to look. In was I. The armrest compartment, but when she climbed over the seat to get on top of me, she leaned on the compartment and the wallet was literally stuck under the lid. I feel fucking awful. I believe my accusation may have come across based on racial difference, but I assure I genuinely thought this girl was crazy enough to pocket it. IDK maybe because I was a little bit insecure about our differences in beauty. I know I fucked up big this time and destroyed what could have been a great relationship. I just need some advice and different opinions as she was drunk when I dropped her off and has yet to respond to me. Anything will help. Fuck, I feel awful, I'm going to get a drink. Too long did not read. I'm a moron. Apologize. This is a pretty major fuck up. Bro, the crazy one is you. You sent her insane mother on her for a pat down. How humiliating is that? Nothing in this world will ever make her forgive you. Congratulations on the sex. Hope you have a good memory because you won't get to bang this 10 again. Wait, which one is the crazy one? Her mom patted her down? You apologized. Leave her alone. Today I fucked up by calling out a married man for hitting on me. So, obligatory, this wasn't today, and was actually a few years ago. I was just painfully reminded of it today. I met a guy who was a friend of a friend while on a night out. We seemed to get on pretty well and shared a kiss or two. Fast forward to a couple of days later and the guy texts me saying he would love to take me on a date and maybe even grab a hotel room after if things go well. At this point, I didn't know a whole lot about him, so decided to get my detective on and have a look at his Facebook. I didn't think much of this, as pretty much everyone these days, vets people on social media. I just wanted to be nosy and see if I could spot any potential red flags before agreeing to a date. Finding his account was pretty easy, due to the mutual friend. It didn't take me long before noticing that he had pictures with his full-on wife and child. As in, wedding pictures and soppy posts about how much he loved her, etc. Needless to say, I was absolutely disgusted that someone would try and betray their partner's trust like that, so I thought I would give him a piece of my mind. I texted him to let him know that I found his Facebook, which meant I could see he was married, and I thought it was pretty disgusting. He replied with laughing faces, which angered me further and prompted a series of, to which he responded, I do not have a wife, she passed away last year. This was also confirmed by the mutual friend, who I should have probably asked first. In hindsight. I apologized profusely and, needless to say, never got the date. I still cringe at myself whenever I think about it. Edit to add. Just to clarify, I was not horrible to him. I just explained that I personally found it disgusting for a married man to be pursuing someone else. Which turned out to not be the case. We ended up laughing about it and there are no hard feelings. Chill guys, it's not that deep. Too long did not read. Facebook stalked a guy who asked me on a date and found pictures of him and his wife. Confronted him about it and found out she was actually deceased. Lesson learned, I guess. Never jump to conclusions and always do the 3 C's: communicate, communicate and communicate. Sounds like you also chose that guy's dead wife. Jesus. Guy dodged a bullet Matrix style. You were so busy looking for an imaginary red flag that you never stopped to see that the red flag was in the mirror the entire time. GIF. Giphy, Q69 Me 0 U Mel 5 JDBGW, downsized. I mean, were there no notifications or posts on his Facebook about his wife passing? Any condolences? Or remembrance? Or did you just look at the pictures and go from there? Today I fucked up and lost all of my life savings because I'm stupid. This is age-old tale of a scammer doing what they do best and leaving someone, this time me, with nothing left. So I put in rural areas fixing farm equipment, and it just so happened that today I was on a farm with very little phone signal. I was in the middle of changing a motor on a cow feeder when my phone rings. I see it has the dial code for my area. I answer and put it on loudspeaker beside me. I hear the guy say, "As the Mr. Gentleman, it's your bank." But then the phone signal goes and he's cut off. He immediately rings back and says the same thing. I say, "Yes, that's me. I'm a little busy. Can I call back?" The man says, "There has been a large purchase outside of the town area that you live. Was this you?" And I said, "No, that wasn't me." He says, "Oh, okay, well, we should first cancel your card. Then I've sent you a security code. Can you read it back to me?" Now of course everyone sees how much an absolute idiot I'm about to be, because of course I read out the code. The man instantly puts the phone down. Now I very quickly realize what's happened. I try to call my bank, but of course this is when my phone decides, yup, not enough signal to ring anyone.
I jumped in the van and drove as fast as I could to find a phone signal to ring my bank. It took me 3 minutes and it was too late. I had 6.5k and that's all I have to live off to buy food, pay rent and pay for my wedding that is in 2 months, and in a 40-second conversation I've ruined my life. I feel sick and all I can do is just hate myself for being the biggest idiot on the planet. Too long did not read. Answered a phone call and gave away a OTP that has left me in the middle of the month with 0 to my name because I'm stupid. Talk to bank. They sometimes have insurance for scams like these. Not trying to beat you up, but did that code say, "Don't share this with anyone"? If my bank ever calls me to discuss an issue with my account, I'll be sure to call them back using the number on the back of my debit card. Their issues are never so urgent as to require my confirmation of something right in that moment. This is honestly part of the reason I don't answer calls from numbers I don't recognize. Go physically to your bank and explain the situation. They will likely credit your account and investigate the situation.